Guys, Gamer here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Nintendo Switch 2. My thoughts about it, what do I think about it in the future, and how is it going to overhaul and change the gaming industry. So number one, my personal thoughts of the whole thing is I'm very unhappy. So I was personally thinking about buying this console for my cousins, and it's still in consideration, but right now it's extremely expensive. I don't know if it's because of the tariffs or it's because of this or that or whatever, but for the Japanese market, it's $350, and in the US market, it's $500. It's ridiculous pricing. I'm super unhappy. This is the cost of a PlayStation 5. It was the cost of my gaming laptop. Like, it's not cheap. You could literally use this money. This is the kind of money you could use towards buying an actual system that you can use for anything you want. Like for example, 500, you can get a PlayStation 5. That will be able to play all the AAA titles, and on top of that, you can stream that for free. And it has a free voice chat. You don't have to pay for that. Nintendo, they're trying to charge for every feature on the Switch. You want a voice chat, you have to pay for it. You want to pay to buy a game, that's you just a digital copy. This is a key. You have to pay $90. Like they are raising the bar and they're creating so many subscriptions that is almost it is the most man, it's the most lowest thing ever I've seen from Nintendo. Back in the past, the Wii and all these other consoles, they used to be more low cost to kind of get into a huge market of people. But now, that's no longer the case. Like the Switch, when it came out, I think it's $350. That's a fair price. That's a pretty fair price. Now it's 500 and some dollars. This is real money. You could go buy a computer with this money. You could go to Micro Center and buy a pre-built whole computer for this kind of money. So in my opinion, I'm just super unhappy. I think now the market's going to change. All the game developers in GTA 6 may actually cost $90, $80, not just $70. And it's not a good thing for anybody in the industry. It's not good for consumers. They're making more subscriptions. You're having to paywall every single aspect. Even the game that demos the features of the system itself, the different kind of features like the mouse controls, where you could turn the Joy-Con into like little mice, like a mouse. It just, man, that should be free. Why are they charging like $90 for that? And it's like, what is the value? It's like everything. They're trying to find a sneaky ways to charge for everything. Like for example, for existing Switch games you have, to get the upgrade version for the Switch 2 Enhanced Edition, you have to pay like an upgrade pack, which might be like $5 or $10. Why? Microsoft I would say, is nice about that. You buy Forza Horizon, you can play on a PC, you can play on Xbox. It's the same. It's called Xbox Play Anywhere, and you don't have to pay individual fees for an upgrade nor for different platforms. And yet, Nintendo and PlayStation charge you, the consumers, and we pay for it. We vote with our wallets that this is okay and this is what we want. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. Because what's going to happen, all these kids in school, this is targeting more younger audience. People are going to grow up with this stuff. And people's income have went up, but the games are so expensive that it's ridiculous. $90 for a game. It's the most highest I've ever seen. Like you could buy 3 games, and that's equivalent of a Intel Arc GPU. Like what the heck? What is going on? And, I wouldn't be complaining as much if the games were reasonably priced. but they're already trying to retail Mario Kart for like $90. So it's like all the YouTubers, everybody will be like, yeah, it's such inflation or whatever. But I think they're just trying to take advantage. In my opinion, if you're trying to look into getting this, I would buy a Switch, original Switch, mod it, or just buy a PlayStation. Like I'm gonna probably look into that because I don't see the point. Like you can go buy a Steam Deck. You know, Steam Deck has the capability to run Switch games at really good performance with emulation, and you can play many other games. And on top of that, it has more capabilities and it has more power than the Switch. It has, it has this like touch haptic thing, it has gyroscope, it's got a better battery, it's got better performance, it's got more features. It can become a dock so you can display output to like a big monitor and a keyboard and mouse. Like these are things you could use as a real computer. I just don't understand. They're locking, the Switch. Okay, the Switch games aren't going to be anywhere else. So people are going to buy into the ecosystem and start spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars for monthly subscriptions and expensive games and for all these features that should be free. I just don't get it. It doesn't cost them a lot of money. I like that they're finally integrating chat and like all that stuff, voice chat into the Switch system. I applaud them for that. But putting it behind a paywall when no other competitor does that is something I find very scummy for them to do. For example, Xbox. You can voice chat people on Xbox without, paying for Game Pass Core. Or PlayStation. It's free. But on Nintendo Switch, you're going to have to pay for it. And also, I don't like them. They actually admitted to emulating the original Switch games. So when you put in that game card in your Switch 2, it's emulating it. And this whole time, they're all problematic about emulation, and that it shouldn't be in the hands of users, of people, to preserve their games and to enjoy the games that they bought rightfully. And they want to shut all those projects down. They want to call emulations bad, when internally that's what they do. So what they're doing is they're monetizing emulation. They took all these things down because they want to make money on it. That's the real purpose. And it's a very sickening thing. I'll give you an example. Like the Wii games, the GameCube games. The reason why those sites got all shut down, like Vim's Lair, one of the biggest sites that distributes those games, which you can't buy anymore in retail stores, and Nintendo doesn't make money on it. It's not it's not something that people still buy and use like that. They shut it down, and now I know why, because they want to make that a Nintendo Switch Online subscription package, so that you pay more for just those access to those games that are almost like 5-10 years old, which is ridiculous. It's a very big sham, and they hate on emulation when they use it themselves. And I find that Nintendo in this time frame, it's been hard to be their fan. I was a huge fan of the Switch when they came out, but right now I'm not a fan anymore. So that's my thoughts on the situation. There's a lot of YouTubers explaining the hardware and different things like that, but I've seen it all. It's cool. They've innovated heavily. I don't know exactly what they're doing, what their specs are, but I know they're using a new modern GPU. So they're not using the Tegra K1 that used to be in like the NVIDIA tablets in the old days. NVIDIA used to make a tablet, and that processor is what they used in the Switch. Just an overclocked version of it. It's called the Tegra KX1 or K1 or whatever. It's what they also use in NVIDIA's Shield TVs. It's an ARM processor. And so I'm wondering what are they using now? Because they're still working with NVIDIA. They're not working with AMD. So that just makes me very curious about what they're because they're using DLLS, which is allowing them to upscale the video quality natively, and that's pretty impressive technology. I don't know what GPU they're using, but that means it's pretty modern. And seeing Cyberpunk getting announced for the Switch is something I never thought I'd ever see. That's a very intensive game. Yes, it's a smaller package size and it'll be on the actual game card, which is very nice. However, it's very crazy to me. It's gonna be on there. Like almost every AAA title now will have a chance on the Nintendo Switch. Because for a while, developers had to work around the capabilities of the Switch because it was too slow. And it was basically like a mobile processor. It wasn't like a very powerful GPU. Now things have changed. It seems like they're trying to modernize. They're trying to come up to date with their hardware because they're using DLLS, meaning it's probably a newer chip. And when you dock it to the thing, when you dock the Switch, it's using upscaling, which is a NVIDIA technology, which takes it from 1080p to 4K. So I'm guessing is that the cooler fan, it overclocks the chip, and then it uses that additional processing power to upscale it natively to 4K. But it's not running the game at 4K, it's upscaling it. So it's still a really relatively mobile chip. And that makes me interested on the technology side. How are they able to achieve it? And we'll see.